Good morning, guys. Good morning. I hope you're doing great. And overnight, we had some good action, and I was just going through exactly what happened around this time. And there's a huge shift at roughly 2 a.m. on the future. So, anybody that played this and caught this green candle probably minted a lot of money. But it was just one order, I think, one big order. And here, as you guys can see here, I basically have the gamma levels up, right? These are from today, obviously. Every day they change, but they remain about the same, okay? Just depending on the options adjustment every day, they change by a few points, okay? Unless a big directional move happens, then obviously we get the different ones. But since we're in the range here, you guys can see that the volatility of 40, how the market behaves, all right? It becomes a little magnetic level when the market trades around it, and then all the other gamma levels, which are usually based on options, right? This one has right here has adjustments that take place right here, and then obviously the zero gamma, where the activity is null by the broker, a lot of adjustments take place, okay? And so let's just go over, I won't go over this SPX USD, but I'll go over the SPX alone, right? Many people like using this for the daily candles. I use the other one, whatever works for you, right? And here we go. So yesterday we had this little tweezer candles on the daily, but at the end we had a little rally. We held, all right? We're in this supply zone right now. We're in this supply and demand zone. Let's see what happens. Eventually this side will pick a direction, either upside or downside, all right? And then tomorrow we have Friday at 10 o'clock. Basically, write this down. Note, if you forget, Friday 10 a.m. is when Powell opens up his mouth, all right? That's when the market will start reacting one way or the other, okay? Initially there might be moved one way for 1-2 hours, then they might sell it off, or they might sell it off, buy it back after analyzing it, okay? And this goes in until Saturday. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. sorry, not 10 a.m. 10 a.m. and then obviously Jackson Hole, just check on it. It actually starts today, August 25th, goes into tomorrow. So even today we might get some headlines. Let's see what we get. And apart from that, 4140 volatility trigger remains basically above this. Adjustments happen to the upside, below negative. But for me right now, market is personally in a no zone, right? That's the reason I'm keeping my sizes light. Here is very hard to say which way the market goes. Let's see what we get today. If we do take out the lows of these candles, then maybe we'll get some weakness towards 4100, 4080, and we'll see from there. Okay, but for now, there's really no direction for me personally here. All right, a lot of movement here in this buy and demand, and scalping obviously will make a lot of money. And apart from that, dollar, let's just go over it quickly. DXY holding pretty well. This is sort of building a bull flag. Now the longer we hold here, the better the chances it squeezes through, right? And if the dollar squeezes through, then the equities SPX obviously it puts pressure on equities to come down, okay? And then the 10-year rate, US 10-year holding pretty well, 3.1 here. And then if this also breaks out, I think this will all happen at the same time, then obviously this will put pressure on equities as well. Euro USD is holding here, sort of bear flaggy pattern, right? And I think this will all happen on the same day. If you guys notice it here, this is a bear flag, DXY is a bull flag, right? So if this breaks out, Euro USD should also see a big flush. Euro USD should see a big flush down, all right? And then we'll see what happens. And if this also flushes, dollar squeezes, that markets will, there will be movement in markets. USD and yen also kind of bull flagging, but this has to do more with the rates, and obviously there's some news coming in from Japan. If you overnight, I think Japan had some headlines regarding their interest rates, which I want to read later on in the day today, and I'll get back to this. And equities DBC kind of breaking out. I did point this out a few times. And DB's commodities, if this breaks out, what does this mean for the coming weeks? Albie and I myself have gone over this many times. I hope you guys understand how this affects the market in the longer term, in the coming months, right? What goes up if this goes up, right? If you don't know, that's your homework for the day. And Nvidia, there's a lot of gamma at 165, guys. The earnings was shit. Their call was pretty bad. I looked into some details last night, but 165 is a major negative gamma level, and this will serve as a great support, that I can tell you. I don't know what Nvidia does today, but 165 will serve as a great support, all right? However, a break of 165, then you have 160 and obviously 155, every 5-point increment pretty much to the downside. But 165 will be a major support. If you're short Nvidia, take some profits off at the open, but 165 will be a major support, okay? Just keep that in mind. Another name that I have on my list is AMD. AMD basically, the $90 level is massive. I gave that to you guys yesterday all day. This is a huge negative gamma level for the week, unless it changes. On Friday, this can get fun. All right, I'll explain tomorrow why. Let's see what happens today first. If 90 holds again, and tomorrow on Jackson Hole, after Powell's speech, the way market reacts. Keep an eye on Nvidia. If 90 is broken to the downside, then obviously a sell is possible. But if 90 holds, then on Friday this stock might have a move for us. Okay, again we'll have to see if the gamma holds. Okay, Tesla. I feel like laughing at this stock. It looks funny. I mean, at 300, right? It won't be fun trading, but for some time I think I'm gonna wait for the volatility to go down, and the strikes will be all weird at the open, I'm guessing. But again, it's just stuck in this supply and demand. Let's see which way it breaks up or down. And yesterday, the funny thing with Tesla was, yesterday it was loaded with positive gamma, and they were buying a lot of calls. But then I saw on the other side they were also selling calls, right, which actually put pressure on the stock. If they never sold calls and they were just holding, this would have had one of the best squeezes of all time, I would say. Yesterday would have gone to 50, 100 point squeeze on Tesla. Yesterday alone, it would have been up 10%. But then again, as soon as 900 failed, we took our exits near break even. The reason for that was on if we make any plays on gamma exposure, certain levels must hold. If that level breaks, then that's showing a lot of weakness that the calls are being sold, because that level should have never been broken in the first place. As soon as 900 failed, we take our tiny little loss and we move on, right? Because the risk and reward was more to the upside than the downside. Okay, so we called it close to break even, and then we just chill. And Raji nailed the puts also later on when it was weak. Today, let's see what happens. 4140, I'm watching closely on SPX, and if we trade between 4130ish, 4160 in between, it's really no man's land. It's just scalping based on your technicals, and that's pretty much it. And no direction here. Even if you guys go back further on SPX, you guys can see that this is Tesla, by the way, but the chart is similar, right? If you guys go back, this area is super. It goes all the way back right here.